Welcome to Pastor Andrew's Inspirations. If you enjoy these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. Welcome to our online church, a congregation made up of many from around the world. No offering is necessary. Subscribing and watching videos will keep us alive under God's watchful eyes. Today we will be talking about biblical names starting with H, part 4. This part will consist of 3 sections, sections A through C. I hope you enjoy these shorts. Hades. He spent most of the time in his dark realm, daunting in battle. He showed his fierceness in the famous Titan-o-machy, the battle of the Olympians versus the Titans, which founded the rule of Zeus. Dreaded and hated, Hades embodied the unstoppable finality of death. Why do we loathe Hades more than any god, if not because he is so adamant and inflexible? The rhetorical question is Agamemnon. Hades was not an evil god. For although he was strict, unkind, and cruel, he was still just. Hades ruled the underworld, and was thus most often associated with death and feared by men. But he was not death itself. It is Thanatos, son of Nyx and Erebus, who is the actual enemy of death, or epitome. Although Euripides' play Alkestis states fairly clear, and Thanatos and Hades were one and the same deity, and gives a stimulating description of Hades as being dark-cloaked and winged. Hades was also referred to as Hesperos Theos, god of death and darkness. When the Greeks pacified Hades, they banged their heads on the ground to be sure he would hear them. Black animals, such as sheep, were sacrificed to him, while some suggest the very intensity of the refusal of human sacrifice spoken in him might imply an unspoken memory of some distant past. There is no straight sign of such a turn. The blood from all chthonic sacrifices, with those to appease Hades, dripped into a pit or cleft in the ground. The person who offered the sacrifice had to avert his face. One ancient source says that he had the cap of invisibility, his chariot drawn by 4 black horses, made for a fearsome and impressive sight. These beasts were variously named as according to Claudian: Orphnaeus, Athon, Nectius, and Alistair, while other authors listed also Nonios, Amethius, Abaster, Abetor, and Mithus. His other ordinary traits were the narcissus and cypress plants, the key of Hades and Cerberus, the 3-headed dog. In certain portraits, snakes also appeared to be credited to Hades, as he was occasionally portrayed to be either holding them or accompanied by them. This is believed to hold impact as a certain classical source. Hades ravished Kor in the guise of a snake, who went on to give birth to Zagreus Dionysus, while bearing the name Zeus. Zeus Olympios, the great king of the gods, markedly differs from Zeus Melikios, a decidedly Chthonian character, often portrayed as a snake, and as seen beforehand, they cannot be different displays of the same god. In fact, whenever another Zeus is mentioned, this always refers to Hades. Zeus Melikios and Zeus Eubuleus are referred to as being alternate names for Hades. The philosopher of Heraclitus, uniting counterparts, declared that Hades and Dionysus, the very essence of abiding life Zo, are the same god. Among other proof, Carl Karinya notes in his book that the Homeric hymn to Demeter, votive marble images and epithets, all link Hades to being Dionysus. He also notes that the grief-stricken goddess Demeter refused to drink wine, as she states that it would be against Themis for her to drink wine, which is the gift of Dionysus. After Persephone's abduction, because of this association signifying that Hades may in fact have been a cover name for the underworld Dionysus. He proposes that the dual identity may have been familiar to those who came into contact with the mysteries. Dionysus also shared several epithets with Hades, such as Chthonios, the subterranean, Eubuleus, good counselor, and Eucleus, glorious or renowned. Confirmation for occult connection is quite wide, chiefly in southern Italy, particularly when seeing the death symbolism included in Dionysian worship. Statues of Dionysus found in the Plutonian at Eleusis gives further proof, as the statue bears a striking similarity to the statue of Eubuleus, known as the youthful depiction of the Lord of the Underworld. The statue of Eubuleus is described as being radiant, but disclosing a strange inner darkness. Ancient portrayals show Dionysus holding in his hand a cantharos, a wine jar with large handles, and occupying the place where one would expect to see Hades. Archaic artists Exonicals portrayed on one side of a vase Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, each with his emblems of power, with Hades' head turned back to front and on the other side. Dionysus striding forward to meet his bride Persephone, with a cantharos in his hand against a background of grapes. Both Hades and Dionysus were associated with a divine tripartite deity with Zeus. The Orphics in particular believed Zeus and Hades were the same deity and portrayed them as such. Zeus was portrayed as having an incarnation in the underworld, identifying him as literally being Hades, and leading to Zeus and Hades, essentially being two depictions and different facets of the same God and extended divine power. This nature and aspect of Hades and Zeus shown in the Orphic stories is the explanation for why both Hades and Zeus are considered to be the father of Melano and Zagreus. The role of unifying Hades, Zeus, and Dionysus as a single tripartite god, or tripartite god, was used to represent the birth, death, and resurrection of a deity, and to unify the shining realm of Zeus and the dark realm of Hades that lay beneath the earth. This was the biblical name starting with H, Part 4, Section A. Please stay tuned for Section B, continuing with Hades' story. If you like these videos, please click on the red subscribe button below and the bell for more. Adonai Nisi, the Lord is our banner. God's blessings be upon us all.